Welcome back to the ongoing coverage and analysis of Dune Awakening. In today's video, we're going to go over the classes in the game that we've seen so far. Dune Awakening is approaching in early 2025, and some lucky few are already enjoying the closed beta period right now. So to help you get ready for when your lucky day comes, let's take a look at the 5 disciplines available to your character. Important to remember, Dune Awakening will not have strict classes, but rather skill pathways that you can spec into using experience points gained through gameplay. You will start out picking from one of the disciplines, but you can expand your repertoire by seeking out other trainers in the game world to learn new skills. Let's go over the 5 disciplines and get a better idea of how we want to build our character. The Trooper is going to be your cliché gunner class, with skills focused primarily on gunplay and ranged combat. We have seen the grenade skill as well as the Shiga wire claw on full display in the trailers, so consider this path good for sniping and mobility. Let's hear it from lead game director Joel Bylos.
Now, troopers are the basic shock troops of the universe, and their ability trees reflect that. Grenades, Shiga wire claws for moving around, and of course, they're able to take down people with headshots.
He also wants to clarify to everyone about Dune Awakening.
Dune Awakening is at heart a third-person shooter with melee and abilities.
Again, every player can use ranged weaponry. It's not exclusive to this trooper path, although you could probably expect a lot of reload, bullet damage bonus, and weapon repair type skills in the trooper ability tree. Where the trooper is focused on ranged combat, the swordmaster is going to be the melee-focused build. You can see here these players are trained by the famous swordmasters of Guinaz, and they specialize in close quarters aggression. Choosing this path gives you the starting ability of deflection, which we know is a defensive stance that will temporarily block incoming ranged dart attacks. We see here the use of the knee charge skill as well as the riposte skill, which, like the deflection skill, will block melee attacks and return a deadly blow. This red glowing hit here is not a combo finisher, but it's actually an attack meant to penetrate a shield. Whereas the light attacks are meant to not penetrate, they will however deal what is known as poise damage. It's believed the Swordmasters will likely have better defense against bullet damage, allowing them to stand a chance against ranged attackers and close the gap to do their work. A few other skills we know of pertaining to the Swordmaster path include a sprinting boost, bullet resistance, better shield penetration. Taking a look at the skill tree, you can make some assumptions for skills like slowing an enemy's movement with this Achilles cutting skill, a possible rage skill that might reduce incoming damage, and what looks to be a flurry skill that could include multiple rapid attacks. Note, some of these do not have levels to them. In these clips, we see a player with Swordmaster skills but still using ranged gunplay, so your skill doesn't necessarily define you as a player, but it's more about what you think will benefit you in the field of battle for a given situation. If you want to have a faster running but still use a flamethrower all day, go right ahead. Just be aware, some of these melee skills will probably require a melee weapon equipped to be usable. At least that's the prevailing theory. Moving on to the mentat, the human computer, a path that is all about recon and information gathering. We can see you will start out with the well-known battlefield calculation, a skill that allows you to physically see other players and enemies' current skill sets and inventory, even down to how much ammo they have in their clips. This is a powerful asset on the battlefield, and in PvP, be guaranteed that your enemy will be using it against you. The mentat also comes with the deadly hunter-seeker skill, which is a remote drone capable of executing an enemy in one hit, though wearing a shield might save your life. We are not sure about that. Keep in mind the hunter-seeker can only see an enemy if it is moving, so if you're able to detect that one is in the air, you might be able to avoid it. The battlefield calculation skill can see great distances and has 3 levels to it, so expect some pretty nice upgrades. You can see here it even shows you valuable resources nearby. Along with the trooper, it seems the mentat will also have a headshot bonus skill available to them. Mentats are apparently a versatile pathway, as they appear to come with skills centered around different damage types, and even the ability to place turrets down. Note the many poison symbols in the skill tree here. From that skill tree, we can also see the suggestion of voice resistance, a way to shield yourself and potentially nearby teammates from the powers of the Bene Gesserit manipulation skills. It does thankfully look like the Hunter-Seeker skill is at the top of the tree, so it won't be a skill that players will just have access to right away, but rather a sort of later stage skill. Seeing as how deadly it is, this is a relief to see. We did recently learn that the mentat also has access to a shield wall skill, a deployable waist-high ballistic shield that can be used for cover. Remember, you can crouch in Dune Awakening, but you cannot go into a lying down prone position. But this shield should come in handy during intense firefights. Mentat might be my favorite pathway so far, to be honest. Next up, the elusive planetologist pathway. Bear with me because we've actually received very little to no official news about how this tree functions, but from interviews we have gleaned that this tree will be the environmentally focused build, assisting with things like gathering resources at higher rates, better quality harvesting, slower dehydration, and potentially lower chances of calling the worm. And while we can't say for certain as we have not seen these skills in action or even the skill tree itself, word on the street is that the planetologist is your PvE-friendly logistics master. Some skills that we have heard about that would fit the planetologist build revolve around looting more resources, workstations, and machines generating less heat, allowing you to craft more without needing as much water for cooling. You're going to want someone around with these skills when you're in need of farming high-demand resources like water and building materials, as they'll be able to harness more from the world of Arrakis. Planetologists will be able to consume less fuel when using vehicles, so that you can fly farther on the overland map and across the desert. They are tuned to the desert, or they're duned to the desert. Attuned to the dune? Yeah, let's go with that. I can even foresee them taking longer to suffer from heat stroke. Maybe they craft better gear or get better bonuses from still tents. I'm winging it here, but these things just feel right. I can dream. Better scanner abilities that might help you find things like we see here in this treasure hunting clip. I mean, who better to go treasure hunting than a planetologist? They probably love sand. Even just having one of these around that delays the worm meter is enough for a reason to spec into this path. I'm excited to see more from this skill tree in the coming months. Now on to our last pathway. You know which one. The Bene Gesserit Acolyte. Why does this pathway feel like the evil pathway by default? Is it the music I chose? We know, again, very little about the BG Acolyte path, though we can see they love physical and psychic manipulation. You can also see the voice pole skill here, which looks like someone inhaling a tiny man. They have kept this path under wraps for the most part, only showing us short clips of the Lady Jessica on Caladan with her newborn, not Paul, daughter, Aristae Atreides, being consumed by the sands of Arrakis, and then in the near future 15 years later, on Arrakis, looking like a space witch or some kind of Arrakis Batwoman. Her collar is turned all the way up, it's ridiculous. We then see the current version of Jessica 8 years later when the game takes place, who for some reason hasn't changed her clothing at all and is rocking sandals. It's very odd. Also, here in some concept art, we see potential Harkonnen versions of the BG, one can only assume, not even sure that exists in Dune, but who cares. Also interesting to note, we see some of the sketches of what the shifting sands mechanic is meant to look like. There will apparently be 3 levels of sand buildup in the deep desert from the Coriolis storm, but I digress. Though we know little about the BG in-game, we have heard the whispers of the Jinn telling tales about their skills. The BG will apparently have access to a triple dash skill, some kind of melee to melee skill, whatever that means, the ability to resurrect allies, as well as several voice related skills for crowd control, such as the ability to become invisible for a short period, briefly stunning players, and even disable an opponent's skills temporarily. Yes, all of this sounds OP. Yes, I am scared. Thankfully, as we discussed, the mentat seems to have a skill that can nullify some of these voice powers, and then all you gotta do is lay the smackdown and you're good. But apparently, they also have a backstab skill, so I don't know. The BG build seems like the rogue or assassin equivalent in DA, and I can't wait to see what role the Masquerade plays into this whole thing. Are they the ones teaching us the skills? Is a male Bene Gesserit just accepted into the gang in this game? Do the females make fun of him behind his back? These are all important questions. All in all, there are approximately 45 skills and 45 of passive abilities to mix and match for a total of some large number. I don't math good. You will have access to 2 skills by default, and a 3rd skill if you maintain a high enough level of spice in your blood. So make sure to keep that secret bag in your pocket full. You think no one knows about it, but we all know about it. You're not fooling anyone. Dune Awakening hits PC sometime in early 2025. What are you looking forward to? Share your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Dune Awakening news. That's gonna do it for us here at Nism Plays. Thanks for sticking with me. I will have more news to share when we get it. Don't forget to join the Discord to sign up for the beta. Until then, keep it locked. Peace!